Got some finance. So the rising price of gold and silver is something that a lot of analysts are taking note of. So got two graphs here that kind of show how, on the one hand, gold has gone from just under 3,500 per ounce to just under 5,000 in just the last like 4 to 5 months. And then silver has gone from like just under $40 to about $85 yesterday per ounce as well. So you have like both the rising gold, rising silver, while also decreasing 10-year yield for the US dollar. So the interest rates that people are getting for taking out a 10-year bond on the US dollar has been decreasing in the last year. And that's significant because up until before Joe Biden got in office, you saw a similar trend where the 10-year yield was decreasing and it got to a point where it was like near 0% yield for a 10-year bond. And it had gone up to about 4% under Joe Biden. And now it's sliding down to around like 3.5%. So it's starting to slide down. So you have like a uh, decreasing value for a dollar in some sense, while also gold and silver are both increasing. So should we be prepared for a recession? So the last few Republican presidents, it seems like recessions have been like a likely outcome, whether that's Trump, whether that's George W. Bush. So I don't know. I mean, the trends are indicating that we should at least have our eyes, on the lookout for something that could happen. So what do y'all think as far as like the trends going on, you know, with all these money indicators?
Well, since I have the least knowledge on the subject, I'm gonna just say what I saw. I saw a post that said Donald Trump and his folks was heavily invested in crypto, so they trying to like give away all the money and put us in debt to ruin the value of the dollar, so they can have like a big control of the Bitcoin or crypto market. And at first, I was like, that could make sense. I can see that, right? But I didn't really pay it too much mind. Then I saw something that said Bitcoin is going to crash because once y'all know who really behind it, then or who really like founded it, or who's behind it, or who's running it, who's in control of it, or whatever, it ain't gonna be worth nothing. And in the same tweet, they said that this is why they tried to keep the Epstein files from coming out for so long. Now that we're seeing more and more stuff coming out, coming out, and all this stuff being affected all at once, is it a coincidence? I don't know. What do you guys?
I think this is a just another example of the market being propped up. Because soon as like gold and silver hit all-time highs, like within 24, 48 hours, it came all crashing down. Especially for silver,
Yeah.
which is more of like, more budget friendly for small time precious metal stackers. I think the real value in coin is something that those who hold it understand, but because it's easy to manipulate markets, like you can kind of like create a false sense of like a false sense of insecurity, and you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you hear reports, oh, gold hit an all-time record high, then the next day, oh, it hit an all-time record low. Like I mean, like this is the most it lost in one day. But it's like, will the dollar continue to get weaker? Well, your president is like openly stating in press conferences, yeah, I want a weaker dollar so that we can get more spending. It could be a more like a discount on American businesses. But the problem is that we're not really like exporting anything that's of value in the current market, like the global market, so to speak. We're kind of undercutting our farmers. We don't really sell our oil off. Like we would rather extract oil from other places rather than give up our reserves, um, or sell our reserves on the market to make the dollar stronger. But I just think it's more of like these are war games that's going on. A lot of this stuff is war games. It's been an economic war that's been going on since I probably say since the end of Biden's campaign and the beginning of Donald Trump's presidential election with China, and I fear that we are probably losing that war, man. They got manufacturing under control. They have plans to become the largest consumers in the world, and they've been stocking up on gold in their central banks over the past few years or so.
Yeah.
And if the world moves to back on the gold standard and removes the American dollar as you know, as the dollar for the U.S. I mean, not for the international economy, the IMF, if they pull the dollar as the reserve currency, then bro, we're gonna have to kind of like really evaluate like what is our economy built off of, and it's pretty much built off debt. And once you can't leverage your debt, you got to pay your debtors. Then what's the course for your country? And
Yeah.
once people begin to lose confidence in America, like I already think they're losing confidence in America
Yeah.
simply because we don't want to play fair right now in international policies.
Hmm. So it's almost like shooting ourselves in the foot, almost.
Yeah, we're going about it the wrong way, I would say, man. I think diplomacy is needed more so than ever, but it's like I I don't think that either candidate. Let me just say this: I don't think either candidate could probably navigate what is to come in a way where it benefit the people. Now, whether it benefit their people that put them in place, like I think that's what it's really for. You know what I mean? Like as far as the people, like the general population, I think they kind of like have an idea of what they want to do with us, and we kind of just either we go along with it or we kind of get cut out, so to speak.
Scary.
Yeah, I think that's what it's leading to, man. I think it's
Yeah.
that like it's leading to more permanent like class status. Like you're not gonna be able to climb the social ladder as easily as you once were able to.
Yeah. So previous generations were buying houses in their 20s.
Right.
Now we got to wait till our
40s,
40s.
forties and 50s.
Yeah.
And then from that point on, we gotta have a 50-year mortgage. And then you say, okay, what's the alternative? Never buying a home? Well, you probably never begin to build assets. And once the dollar goes away, at least those that got assets would be like, at least you're gonna have to pay me something. Whatever they change the money into, I'll be getting some of that
Yeah.
because I got assets. But if you ain't got no assets, because you can't get no capital to buy no assets, because you ain't really like because it's not that we can't do it. We don't live the same type of lifestyles generations before us lived, bro. Like we're not chasing a bag. Like they weren't chasing a bag. They weren't chasing clout. Like they weren't trying to live like a lux lifestyle. Like they was cool with whatever the fuck they got because they knew that they could make do with what they had. I
They
think that's where
deserved a
we
lot
fall
more.
short.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was more of a concerted effort to save previous.
Because you didn't have like there was no free money. There was no such thing. Like people didn't buy things on credit. Like they didn't do that. Like that's our lifestyle now because our government has created that lifestyle. Shit fall down here, bro.
Yeah,
So should we be prepared for a recession? I think so. I think we should be prepared for economic collapse. What does that look like for healthcare? What does that look like for education? What does that look like for personal finance, macroeconomics? Like a world where the dollar isn't the reserve currency of the world is something that we should probably start considering as Americans.
Yeah, especially considering our stance on Middle East.
yeah,
Which is going to lead into the next topic once we get to that.
Feel me? Like real talk. Devaluation of the petrodollar. Shit, man. That, that's some take. That's a real. Feel me? This is something. As black men, I'm glad you guys brought this up, man, because um we are the number one consumers. You feel me? Number one consumers, dog. So I hope somebody's meditating on it. I hope what you just spoke on, it hit somebody. They're able to just sit with what that means to their life now and what it'll mean in the next 3 to 5 years and how they can better prepare themselves when those hard times come. You know what I mean? Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, y'all
It's,
go ahead.
it's, it's scary though, and there's so many just different like things you could look at to just show how challenging it could get.
Yeah, man, it's more like in a world where people are encouraging disorganization, individualism. I think it's more and more a concerted effort for us to kind of like build communities, um, like love on the people that's around us, and try to spread love as much as we possibly can, dog. Because we all we got at the end of the day. Like we probably ain't got a lot of money, we probably ain't got a whole lot of influence, but if you learn how to grow food and you learn how to build a house and you learn how to wire a house and you learn how to plumb a house and this person learn how to, plow a field, this person learn how to remove lumber, this person know how to remove trash. Like now we got a community where we can rely on each other and we don't have to ask one another or have to spend outside of our own economy.
Yeah.
So
Hopefully, hopefully it'll be modern, and not like like a barter type thing, you know,
I
where you
don't
just
a barter system would necessarily work. I'm just more so
yeah,
saying like if you work as an electrician, so you bring your income from that, but then you go to the community and you go do some work on somebody's house, like they're paying you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then they may do something that you need a service from them, so you're paying them. So
You're
that
keeping
money,
your money inside the
the money
community. You
stays
see what I'm saying?
inside
So
the
you're stimulating your own community. You see
absolute.
what Phil's saying?
Yeah.
It's how you build your community. And what he's saying is it doesn't take a lot of people, but it does take people keeping the money inside of their community and not letting the money go to other people's community. You feel
Absolutely.
me? Because when you do that, you're helping them build up their community. And that's a problem, our community. You feel me?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You were dropping science though. I peeped today's mathematics. Feel me?
Yeah. Good, Kane.
Yeah, I just want to say very insightful segment from my boy Phil right there.
Definitely.